Well, I'm going to go ahead and read this book. Since it's springtime, you guys might have heard the birds have come back, and there's a lot of birds singing outside. And I have a book about two birds trying to make a really good nest. If you want to read it with us, you can stay. But if we have expended your attention span, you don't have to stick around if you don't want to.
Do you want to stay, Alexander? Or do you want to stay?
I've unmuted everyone.
Oh no.
Okay. Can you sit up?
Oh, you, Ivy. All right. This book is called The Best Nest. What do you see here? We've got two birds and a birdhouse. It says, Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house, I love my nest, and all the world my nest is best. He really likes his nest. Oh, uh-oh. What do you think she's feeling?
She has her eyes closed and her arms crossed.
Mad.
Mad, yeah. She seems like she's a little upset. I wonder why. Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. It's not the best nest, she said. I'm tired of this old place, said Mrs. Bird. I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now. Well, that's not very nice. But let's see what's going to happen next. Oh, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Looks like they've flown out. So they left the old place to look for a new one. This place looks nice, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. But somebody else had already moved in. Oh, look at that raccoon. They're trying to get in his house and he's getting mad. Get out of here. So they looked at another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird. And there's nobody in it. A shoe? Uh-oh. I think something does live in that shoe. A foot. You're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. Oh man, they gotta fly out of there. They're gonna get stepped on. So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on the roof. What is that?
A mailbox.
A mailbox. I've always wanted a house with a flag, said Mrs. Bird. Maybe this place will be all right. Oh, what's happening? Oh no, what's happening here?
Oh, no. A hand.
A hand. And there's letters. Someone's putting letters in the mailbox. Oh, they can't live there. There's going to be mail in there. But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. All right. You make too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. All right. Do you think Mrs. Bird is going to make a good choice?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he makes all the mistakes and she's not going to make any mistakes?
No.
Well, let's find out. Ah, here it is, right here. Do you guys recognize what this building is? It might be kind of hard to tell. Let's see if we can let's picture at it. This is a church. And a lot of times at the top of churches, there is a big bell. They flew in, they looked around. Isn't it too big, said Mr. Bird. I like this place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the best place to build our new nest. They went right to work. They needed many things to build a nest. First, they got some hay. So there's hay. They're taking it over to the church. They got some soda straws. Uh-oh. What is she feeling? She looks a little bit surprised and maybe kind of upset. They got some broom straws. Is the broom upset? Nah, it's just a broom. It's just joking. All right. Oh, they got some sweater string. Oh no, look at his face. What is he feeling?
Sad, angry.
Sad, angry. I think he's a little surprised too, because his eyes are wide and his eyebrows are up. Oh, what? That's crazy. Taking my string. They got some stocking string and mattress stuffing.
Where's the book thing?
Really doing a number on this guy.
Look at this after you
They
finish.
got some horsehair. Oh, what's that horse feeling?
Mad.
Oh, he's definitely mad. They got some man hair. What? They're taking his beard and his head hair. I would not be that chill if someone tried to take my hair. That's right, Robert. Soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horsehair, all the man hair they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. Look at all that stuff they have. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. This nest really is the best, said Mrs. Bird. I want to stay here forever. Look at that bird nest. Looks pretty good, I gotta say. That is not a bad nest. Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. I love our house, I love our nest, in all the world our nest is the best. He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. I wonder what he's gonna do. Can any of you guess what Mr. Parker's gonna do?
He's gonna take his beard and hair back.
He's gonna take back his beard and hair. Yeah, you know, that's not a bad guess. Does he have a beard though?
No. No.
Kitty, you knocked over my phone. Can you see my cat?
Yes, I can.
Oh, kitty, kitty. All right. Let me put this back.
It was Kitty.
My cat saw the mic stand I'm using to hold my phone, and she thought, hey, I can rub my face against that. That's a good idea. I disagree, Kitty. I disagree. All right. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull a rope. The rope went up to the new bird's nest. Oh no, what's gonna happen? The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Bong, bong, bong. Oh no, what is she feeling? A big, loud, giant noise.
Ben.
She might be startled. She might be scared. If I had a big giant bell under my bed, boy, I would not be happy. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. Whew. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and manhair and straws. Where was Mrs. Bird? Does he know where she went?
No,
I don't think he knows.
no, he doesn't.
I will look for her until I find her, said Mr. Bird. He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. He looked down into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Then he saw a big fat cat. There was a big fat smile on the fat cat's face. There was some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Oh, what does he think happened?
He ate Mrs. Bird.
He thinks that the cat ate Mrs. Bird. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh dear, he cried. This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird. Oh, look, he's so sad. He's crying. Oh. Mr. Bird flew off. I'll never see Mrs. Bird again, he cried. It was getting dark. It began to rain. It rained harder and harder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Oh, crash! Bumped into something. Oh, that's exactly what it says. Okay. It was his old house. That old house that Mrs. Bird hated. I'll go inside, said Mr. Bird. I'll rest here until the rain stops. Mr. Bird went in, and there was Mrs. Bird, sitting there singing, I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world this nest is the best. Who saw that coming? You here? Gasped Mr. Bird. I thought you hated this old nest. But what is she feeling?
Happy.
Happy. Does she look like she hates it?
No.
I don't think so.
I need to brush my teeth.
All right, Stevani, you take care of your body. Mrs. Bird smiled. I used to hate it, she said. But a mother bird can change her mind. You see, there's no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird. She laid an egg. They're gonna have a baby bird. And when the egg popped open, the new bird thought so too. All right, there's their new baby in their old nest. The end.
Bye, Gisela.
All right, bye guys.